Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Retro Reminisce, the show where we look at older games and see if they still hold up. A little bit of nostalgia in there, and likes and dislikes. My name is Killjoy, and today I am joined by two fine gentlemen. On my right, Mr. Mark Kitchen, aka the man that always loses at Smash.
Oh,
how's it going, good sir?
Cheeky little dig in there. I'm alright. I'm feeling a bit more offended than I was 10 seconds ago.
Incredible, incredible. And on my other right, Mr. Fruity, aka the man who needs me to carry him in StarCraft 2. How's it going?
I got bananas on my socks.
Damn right you do. Amazing, incredible.
We're gonna ignore the StarCraft 2 thing.
He does need me to carry him though.
You are my carrier. To my interceptor.
Oh dear. Anyway, today we're going to be looking at the classic platforming games that were on the NES, the Mega Man, and specifically Mega Man 1 and 2. It's probably the first time we've done, since the original episode, where we've done more than one game in
Yeah, it's true. It's been a while.
Yeah, and hopefully this is going to go a lot better. But yes, Mega Man is a platformer game that was originally on the Nintendo Entertainment System. It revolves around you playing as a small robot called Mega Man, and you go around, you fight other robot masters, you gain their powers, and you can use their powers against them, and you're fighting the evil Dr. Wily. And yeah, it's usually made up of, most games is 8 robot masters. I think the first one is 6, or was it 8 as well? Just a different select screen.
I think it was 8.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it wasn't. Yeah, 'cause it was like a circle.
Yeah, rather than like the square.
Yeah.
And
I'm so used to the 9 square grid.
yeah, exactly, like all the other ones. And yeah, just a bit about the games. They came out in 1987. Yeah, December 1987 in Japan, and then it was eventually released in. Came out in Europe 2 years later. The first one came out. There you go, 2 years later.
That
But-
seemed to happen back then. That happened
Yeah, it
with
was a
Super
lot
Mario
of
Bros.
games.
3. There was like 88 and then 90.
I remember
when it
like
came
the Pokemon games would come out in Japan like way before the
Yeah.
UK.
Yeah.
Hence why we never got green.
This is back in the day when you actually had to wait for things to come from Japan or America.
Pokemon Green came out in like 95 or something.
Yeah.
And then like 3 or 4 years later, like we got Red and Blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember my friend getting a version of Pokemon Crystal from America when he was on holiday.
Yeah.
And you had it in and he was like playing it at school like 2 months before the rest of us could buy it.
Yeah.
This is so annoying.
It was.
Like, I think he's living in the future.
Yeah, I mean, Europe used to shit out a lot. Like, we were always the ones who got last. Weirdly enough, Mario Kart Double Dash, I believe, came out over here first.
Also, Silent Hill.
Came out here
We
first?
were always the first.
Yeah. It's very strange, isn't
I don't
it?
know why Silent Hill, but that was like Europe
Yeah.
was one of the first ones to get that.
We did get a couple of games. We also got a few, like, we probably got all the football games first. But, yeah, I've a little thing
and
about...
the rugby ones back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
I think they still do cricket as well.
Is it
That
what?
might be Asia with India being so popular at cricket.
It's just how it is, isn't it? Now, most things get a global release, so it's less of a problem. But, Mega Man
Especially
has had a
nowadays,
remake.
There's no excuses.
I know, but that's just digital.
So if I can download code, why do you need to wait 6 months?
Mega Man, the original, did get a remake for the Vita of all systems. Was it Vita? PSP, sorry. For the PSP, which was called Mega Man Power Up, that came out back in 2006. But yeah, we're going to be looking at both of Mega Man 1 and Mega Man 2. So sit back and relax.
When did 2 come out?
I will find out. But while I'm doing that,
While I'm clicking on the website.
while I'm having a look to try and find out when Mega Man 2 come out, I'm going to start with Mr. Fruity. Let's talk about, did you ever play either of these games or know much about the Mega Man games when you were growing up?
I mean, I saw the box art cover,
Yeah.
which was like the American one with like Tron, like a weirdly like humanoid drawing of Mega Man, which wasn't really reflective of like any of the designs inside the game. I mean, I think I played these. I must have played them at some point, under the age of like 10 or so. Like I must have played them at someone's house, but I never owned them because I never had Nintendo. I was a Sega guy, so I kind of skipped all these. I got a feeling I might have played one on the PS1.
There were someone there, yeah.
I think I might have like rented one from a game shop, I think. But yeah, Mega Man kind of skipped me until Smash, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he's definitely brought more life back because we recently got Mega Man 11 come out.
Yeah,
and
I didn't
stuff,
have the
so-
opportunities, nor probably the patience.
Not when you're a kid.
No, there's no way I played these as a child. But I did play Fantasia a lot, so maybe I would have played this a lot. There's nothing else for me to play.
Yeah, Sonic will play Mega Man.
Yeah.
Mr. Mark, Did you ever play much of Mega Man when you were growing
I
up?
didn't know anything about Mega Man when I was a kid.
Ah,
I didn't know any other kids who played it.
yeah.
First time I heard of Mega Man was as a teenager, not like early teens, sort of probably late teens.
Yeah.
One of my friends who I became friends with around that time was really into it. Like Mega Man 2 is his favourite out of the bunch.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't play it until played it around here, basically.
Yeah.
I've not played it before.
Huh.
I guess like I knew a lot of people that had never heard of it as well. So
Yeah.
it's not one of the biggest. I guess it is
Well,
like it's quite a big series, but like I think it got overshadowed by Mario and Sonic and stuff.
I think
Yeah.
it's like an influential series.
Yeah.
I think most people are kind of aware of it nowadays, but at the time it wasn't so big in the 90s. Unless it's a lot bigger in Japan, maybe, but it wasn't really.
Well, they put there's 11
big
games in
hit.
that in the classic series now, so I mean they must have done well somewhere.
It did remind me when we were talking about this, like remembering Mega Man, like 1 and 2 and stuff. Like it took me about 2 years of watching Beard Bros to realise that like that music was from Mega Man.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until you told me that I realised. I was like, oh.
Yeah, when you
I
select the
had
boss.
no
yeah.
idea that was like the music from that game.
I think the difficulty
I
arc
was like
probably,
25 then.
like, the difficulty arc probably put a lot of people off and
Yeah.
like, made it less accessible to children and stuff.
I mean, I get why children didn't play this.
And also, like, it's great being able to choose the order you do the levels in, but then you don't get that kind of arc that you get with other
Other platformers,
platformers,
yeah.
like Mario.
There's also no
levels
indication.
Of how hard something is.
Yeah.
Being able to do everything is groovy, but like there's no indication, which probably put off a lot of my kid friends.
You
Yeah.
don't know which level to go for first. You probably would think, oh, the top left is probably going to be the easiest one.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily.
It was interesting. I never really
That's
thought
true,
about
actually.
that.
Yeah, you think you start in the top
And just
then
work
move
around. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because when I was growing up, I had a friend of mine who lent me Mega Man 3. So at this point, I was like, oh, there's a 1 or 2. I didn't know if there was a 1 or 2. It's just this game was called Mega Man 3. And I had played that, and that was my first ever time playing a Mega Man game. And I was like, it was brutal. Like, absolutely. I was like, Snake Man. It was like the one I always remember the most, being like, I really like this level. I really like the music, but I can't do it. Like, I just could not complete it. And me and my brother, we did play put a lot of time into it, and we borrowed this game. But yeah, it was kind of like, I didn't play the first or the second one until much, much later, and I'd seen more footage and things of it. But to just chip in there as well, Mega Man 2 came out in 1988. So
Okay.
it's a year after. So, but yeah, I mainly had nostalgia for the third one. I hadn't really played the first, second, or even after that. The third one was the one I knew, and I didn't really play any of the others until much later on. I've got like the collection on the GameCube, and I've got the one on the Switch. So I've had a chance to play these games since then. But yeah, might as well just get into it. Let's start with Mega Man 1 then. We'll start with you, Mr. Fruity. Any likes of this game?
I mean, it started all the things I like about Mega Man
Yeah.
because it was the first game. Not really I don't know, I can't really think of anything.
No?
So I mean, like, if you take it as like, if this was the only game and there was none afterwards, if you take it as like this was the only game, like the mechanics which you associate with Mega Man are good.
Yeah.
Like you defeating the enemy, taking their power, using it on as like your own weapons. Like this is kind of like quite a normal gameplay mechanic nowadays. I don't know if this was like the first to do that, but that's kind of like
What it's known for.
it's a very important power. It's like it's what most RPGs, action RPGs, run on
Yeah.
nowadays. Like you kill an enemy, you get a power up, and you can counter attack and normally feed to the boss you just killed. Like,
Yeah.
that's a kind of a good mechanic. Like the music was good. I think Mega Man 1, not quite as good as Mega Man 2 music.
I
but
agree with that.
Mega Man 1 was still pretty solid.
Yeah.
Like, the color palettes are pretty good. They don't just stick to the same like SNES colors that every game uses. There's like quite a good amount of variety.
Yeah.
Which is pretty sweet. And also like the background art is quite detailed. Like it's more than just like a skybox.
Yeah.
Like, they have like walls and walls that are broken down, and like you work your way up to like the skybox and you go back down underground. Like it's quite well. Like the arts, like the music and the graphics are quite good.
Yeah.
And I guess the power-ups might have been interesting if I got that far. Based on the other games and what I know from watching speedruns of this game, the power-ups are pretty cool.
Yeah.
And like it does massively change how you play. But that's about as nice as I can be to this game.
Mr.
It's
Mark.
a very nice looking game.
Yeah.
basically.
Mr. Mark, have you got anything you like about this game?
I like the music. I
Yeah.
think it's good. Like, it's. I mean, I think there are probably a lot of games in the 80s where the music, there weren't many more than a couple of songs
Sure.
on per game.
Just
So
like
yeah.
really generic songs.
yeah, so
Yeah.
to have a different song for every
Level, yeah.
level is nice. I know that sounds simple, but this game came out over 30 years ago,
Yeah.
so
That is true.
But-
But some of them
Worth,
are quite similar, but
Yeah.
they're all different.
they
It's
were all
different
individual, yeah.
Now,
And, like, I agree with Dave on the, like, talking about the graphics, and you say about the colour palette and
Yeah.
stuff. Like, they are quite distinctively different levels.
Yeah.
And again, like, comes back to games in the 80s. Like, I feel like some games struggled to kind of differentiate different areas and things. Like, if you play the original Metroid, for example, like everything looks the
same. You don't know where you're going.
yeah. So that's cool. Like there is
That's
like
true.
a broad range of enemies and like and you've got all the different weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
The enemies do stand out. That's a good point. You know what's an enemy.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
the background image?
If you want some tough platforming, if you want to like destroy yourself with stress through platforming, then you've got it. I would recommend playing this version of the game that we played with the rewind function, because
Oh
otherwise it's
god,
just-
yeah, I didn't say about that. That was the single best thing about playing this game was the rewind mechanic. Although it can do it from menus, we found out.
Yeah.
I feel like the other couple of I've only played the first 3 games. The other 2 games I could play without that on most of the levels
Yeah.
and enjoy it. On this game, I can't really play any level without using that mechanic. Like maybe 1 or 2 of the easiest levels, but then most of the levels you need to use that mechanic like over and over again because it's difficult. So yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
I've kind of moved on to dislike.
That's
but-
fine.
No, it's like one
Um,
thing I was about to say, which is kind of a good point, which Gitchen just reminded me of. Like, I got a feeling that if I was playing this back in the day, and with my obsession with like
Trial and
self-evaluation
error.
with like video games, I would probably have been into this, I reckon. 'Cause I was just thinking then, when Mark was talking, I was like, just thinking about Shinobi and Game Ground, and like, back in the day, I did actually play a lot of these games where like, it was based on putting like hours of trial and error in,
Yeah.
to like knowing exactly where to stand, exactly when to jump, when to shoot. So
A lot
like,
of
I got
learning.
a feeling if you master this game, you probably do feel like really good.
Yeah.
It's just we didn't play it enough to like
No, that's
discover
true.
that.
I'd love to watch some of the speedrunners.
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty
speedruns are
amazing. Yeah.
Especially like the non-glitch ones.
Yeah.
Like
Once you get the magnet rail, it's just like they just zip through the
well,
levels.
non-glitch ones where it's like Buster only as well.
Yeah.
They're just dodging everything. That's really impressive.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely all the Mega Man games are fun to watch speedruns.
Mm.
I mean, I can talk about the one thing I like about this game, which
Yeah,
is
how
just
about you? Good.
simply the music. I mean, like you
Music
said,
is
the
good.
music is good. Some of them are earworms. Like I could probably hum a couple of them now, but they're definitely not quite as memorable as like 2 and 3 and some of the other Mega Man games.
or
but
like the other games at the time.
yeah,
But-
like it's not that it's bad. It's just it's not quite as up there. It's not you might remember 1 or 2 of them, but yeah, 2 and 3 definitely have better music. But yeah, that's probably about the only thing I like about this game. So
You're not a fan of the colours and the graphics?
yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, compare it to like other like games of the time period, like
I feel
Mario
like
or
you're,
something. Skybox and Mario is pretty much just the same. Like, there's not as
Yeah,
much
I was in my head. I'm kind of comparing it to
variety.
2, Mega Man 2. So, but
Yeah.
it's all right. It's not terrible, but like I think my only
Say it still
enjoyment.
looks better than most games
Now,
at the time.
Who wants to go first? Because I mean I've got some stuff I can say about dislikes, but do you guys want to? Let's chuck it
Last
over.
of Us can go first. I
Yeah.
went first last time. I had to think of some good points.
All right, okay.
You guys could do the bad, easy
I'm
ones.
I'm gonna start just because I got quite a few things I want to say. So if that's all right with you two, I will kick
I mean,
things
it
off.
probably means we won't say the same thing over again.
Yeah.
well,
so
you're
you
probably
go.
going to cover most of the
Yeah,
game.
Okay.
we'll add on more
So-
personal things.
So the first thing I noticed with this game, unlike the with 2 and 3, is you actually slide a lot more when you stop, and I
Oh,
find
preach.
and I find the
Preach.
controls a little bit unresponsive in this game. Like when you
The
play 2, it
controls
just
and
feels a bit
sliding
better.
are fucking awful.
I know,
Like, whoever programmed in that slide.
but it's not like a long slide, but it's enough to make you just like slide off the edge of small
The thing is,
platforms.
like, it doesn't seem to tie to your momentum as a character.
No.
It's like you could be walking for ages and you still slide basically the same amount.
Mm,
Which when you're doing precision platforming on ice levels,
yeah.
it's just it's
useless.
insane. Especially when you don't know the patterns of the blocks appearing. And
Yeah,
You're sliding all over the place.
It's just like, good lord. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very, very strange choice.
Oh.
Probably for me, the biggest thing in this game is that the level design is trash. The level design is
Yes.
absolute shit in this game. Like, let's just go with Electman. Let's just start with there, because Electman is a vertical scrolling level, and the first, like, 3 screens require you to climb up a ladder that, like, if you get hit, you fall off the ladder, fall all the way back
Yeah.
down, and you're trying to climb back up this oh my god, like...
And it's so difficult
The
to
problem
avoid
is-
Yeah.
like, getting hit. Like some of the,
fucking enemy
I'm
placement.
assuming you're
Well-
going to get onto this. Enemy placement is
Oh,
ridiculous in this
enemy
game.
placement is
Yeah.
also trash.
But it's about the Electman stage.
Yeah,
Like, eventually I worked out how you're meant to kill him when like, the bottom eye
yeah, pops
comes
out. Yeah,
You can shoot him when it's that, and you can do it before the lightning comes out.
yeah.
But there's no indication in the level design that that's what you're meant to do.
It's got this entire hitbox is the
It's
whole
like
thing,
as you're
isn't it?
walking
Yeah.
up, you're like, oh, there's your circles. Oh, they're firing at me. Oh, I can fit in the middle.
Yeah,
Then you realise trying to fit in the middle of like 3 of them is like requires such
Really hard.
precision, pixel perfect moving up and down the ladder. Where you realise that you can stand at the bottom, dodge the bottom one, so you can kind of jump through that box,
yeah,
and then you can just shoot them all. And it's like, well, nothing to indicate that. 'Cause I saw a ladder. They don't appear until you're already like
on
a
the
bit up
ladder. Yeah.
So you assume they just spawn when you go up the ladder, but they spawn just when you're on the level. Like, yeah, some weird
I
choices.
think Electman is probably the biggest offender, but I mean even with the ice stage, with the I forgot what the blocks are called, but the ones that appear and they go voop, and they're in a rhythm.
Yeah.
But they're just trash as well, because sometimes you jump next to it and your hitbox is too big, so you smash your head on it, and it's like
Fireman was. Is that the first one?
Heatman was the first one.
Heatman.
The,
That's one with all the blocks, wasn't it? Was that the second?
that was the second one.
Ah.
That wasn't as bad, but like, yeah, the Iceman level where you have to do it on that, and it's just like, yeah, that.
Oh,
I
God,
just think the entire level design of this game is utter shit. It's like even it's like it's Cutman at the beginning where you have to deal with those dudes that are dive bombing you straight away. They're just
Oh,
dive
yeah.
bombing you. As soon as
Yeah,
you
the
get-
weirdest thing is like, if I was designing it, I would design it so the arc of the enemy always intercepts with the middle of your sprite.
Yeah,
So when you turn to fire, you're guaranteed to hit it before it hits you.
yeah,
The problem is they just move.
come up from up.
They move. They don't move in relation to you. They just move.
Yeah,
So they can clip the head of like, the top of your head,
mm,
the hitbox, but you can't fire up at that angle.
yeah,
So you can't. So many times in the game when you got like 2 or 3 dive bombing enemies, there's no way for you to hit any of them when they're hitting you.
yeah.
It's so weird. Like I don't know why you wouldn't tie it so like they can't move until their arc intercepts you,
Yeah,
The game
where
doesn't-
you can fire. Then you can just like go side to side and shoot them, and you'd feel like you're more in control.
yeah,
Like I don't know, it's a weird design choice.
The game doesn't give you any indication of how the enemies that have just come onto the screen are gonna like move. Or,
Yeah.
Like you don't get that kind of progression. Like say in a Mario game, you'll come across a new enemy, but you'll see one of them,
yeah,
and then so when you see 3 of them later, you'll know like at least you'll be
the
prepared.
Goombas and one.
But like in this game, like you'll get assaulted by like
4 or
7
5,
new
yeah.
enemies at once, and you don't know how one of them moves because you've not come across it before. So dealing with like loads of them at once, you're like, what the fuck?
yeah.
And it's just trial and error. There's no like kind of
yeah.
there's no like introduction to the way of getting
Another
around
thing
it. or
as
anything.
well with that introduction thing is when you're faced with a new enemy and there's like other enemies on the screen, when you're firing, especially some of the bigger guys, you're firing to destroy that one.
Yeah.
You destroy it, but because of the spawning, you move back.
It respawns.
So then it respawns everything in front of you again, plus the
Yeah.
ones that are
All-
still
all
on your
screen.
screen.
There are
Yeah.
parts
Like so
where-
many times it goes from like bad to worse because not only have you respawned the ones which are still there, you've also respawned the annoying enemies you're trying to fight first,
Yeah.
trying to get distance from.
Yeah.
It's like it really punishes you for not being an expert at the game.
There's
It's just
parts where
really
you
hard.
have to be on the platform you're on, but jump back to the previous one to avoid the enemies.
Yeah.
And that then means that when you go back to that platform,
Yeah.
you respawn the enemy you just discovered.
The
Yeah.
barriers
And then you just
between the
keep going-
screens are
You just keep
weird.
going around in a loop unless
Yeah.
you just like fucking like cheese it.
Yeah.
Because of the knockback, you can't even just like try and power through some of
Yeah.
the screens and more enemies. Like, you can't be like, oh yeah, I'll use the iframes to like go through all the enemies and I'll be fine. Because you get that knockback. If you go down the hole, then you're like dead.
Yeah. I mean, like we've obviously been talking about. I was gonna say enemy placement in this game is just fucking atrocious, but with like you can probably tell from that.
It's atrocious, but like it just seems like they didn't really.
It's not.
Plan it.
This game feels very much like an unfinished game to me. There's like the enemy placement's all wonky. The level design is
Feels
just crap.
like when
Your
you
hitboxes
first-
doesn't really fit in anywhere.
Yeah, it feels like when you first start playing around with Unity, and you just do stuff. It feels like those kind of levels where you're like, oh, I know how to do an AI sprite. Oh yeah, you got an enemy. You just put them in like willy nilly.
Yeah.
You try and play the level, and you're like, oh, this is impossible. It just
Like-
feels like that. It just feels like they didn't really.
It's like
Plan.
me. It's like me on Super Mario Maker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm just
there,
like,
there.
what
the
should I
dumb
do?
down
Like,
version.
yeah.
You don't use
What
YouTube, I do.
What should I do? Oh, okay, this is
Just put
great.
bloopers everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes, I got two more things. One of them is I've specifically put Heatman down here, but some of the bosses in this game are just ridiculous. Like Heatman, I have no idea how you do
It's
Heatman without getting hit.
insane.
Like-
Like you can't. Is that the one Dave did?
Yeah, we just keeps firing fireballs at you.
You can't actually jump over it 3 times.
Yeah, it's nuts. Like Heatman is completely unfair.
I
I
don't think there's a
big-
way to do it without having any upgrades.
yeah,
So we were doing it without beating any of the.
yeah, we didn't beat any of the levels.
Because like I got over one of them maybe. We're trying to get over all like 2 or 3 of the blasts. I think it's 3.
Yeah,
It's I don't know if it's possible without like being like the guy who does Dark Souls with like fucking Donkey Kong bongos.
yeah. I mean,
Unless
that
you got
guy-
that amount of patience, I don't know how you could do it with just like a buster.
Yeah, no, it's
Like
nuts.
I feel like this kind of like you can go anywhere, you can fight any boss. Doing this kind of game design,
You need to have some.
you have to make it possible.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like unless you're gonna have a roadblock and be like, you can't do this. Like if you had a point of one of the levels where you couldn't go past without blowing up something with one of the guns.
Yeah,
If you're not gonna do that, then you should have it so it's possible. Not easy, but possible.
yeah.
And like that boss fight, I don't know how. Like I tried
Yeah.
several times. Like I don't know how you could do that without
Yeah, it's just.
being like obsessed with like perfect position of
Yeah.
jumping and stuff.
Which is segues into my last thing. Some of the jumps in this game feel pixel perfect, and
Yeah.
there are
When I was
two.
trying to get back from their health
Yeah,
item,
which was
it's
nuts.
just like
It's like
slowly sliding along the platform until I was like completely hanging over the sprite.
this problem is twofold because you have Mega Man's jump arc, which is very high, but you fall very fast, but you don't go very horizontal.
That confused me a lot. I'm so used to going really far horizontally, but not very high.
Yeah, so that
It is
happens.
weird.
And also the fact that you have like I'm trying to describe this. Imagine you got 3 platforms, but they almost overhang each other. You have to like do like right on the edge jumps to like they're almost like in step
Yeah,
pattern.
so if you were jumping from a platform on the left and the right, where the platform above you is just enough space for you to make it to the other side, so you need to jump up as in like jump left, right, left, right, left, right, as you go diagonally. But you have to be right on the edge of the platforms to make it to the other side
Yeah.
without hitting your head on the platform above you, if that makes sense.
Yes, and it's ridiculous, and I just it's frustrating because there shouldn't be that kind of jump. Like not in a game that's already tough with these other mechanics. You don't need that. So, but that is all my dislikes. I'm going to chuck it over to Mr. Mark. You got anything else you want to bring up about this game?
You've covered a lot of it.
I think those are the main things.
Like we've talked about the bullshit.
Yeah,
this
this game is that.
Like there's no way like there's so much trial and error, like just too much trial and error.
Yeah. I'm one of those people that really hates trial and error games, and like especially because any game you play, you should
kind of love it.
Well, the reason I was going to say is that any game that's designed like to be fairly like well-rounded, you should still have a chance to get through it the first time.
A couple of points which I'll say about what I'd rather they do game design wise. Got 3 things which I think will really improve this game.
Replace it with another game.
It's called Mega Man 2.
The cartridge from the NES and put the other one
Put
in.
a hammer to it. Like.
So one of my things was I think get rid of the slide.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Doesn't help. It's completely pointless.
Good in Smash.
Take off the slide. But yeah, that's more.
No.
like the later Mega Man.
You're thinking the actual
That's
the
the
actual
later Mega
slide.
Man.
Yeah,
when you can
Not.
slide
I'm talking about the
properly.
movement slide. Yeah.
Get rid of that. Number 2, it would kind of take away from the visual appeal of it, but color enemies so you know what they're weak to and if you can't kill them. So like if you've only got a buster,
Yeah.
and like say if one of the weapons was grey, it changed to color grey.
Yeah.
All the enemies that are grey are weak to that. Or maybe like the head of it's grey, or the shield of it's grey, or maybe there's like a little sprite above its head that's got like a little grey icon.
Yeah.
And
There's
you're like,
no
oh,
way of knowing
I need to
what's
turn
good.
grey to kill this enemy.
Mm.
Yeah.
And maybe not with the bosses, so it's a bit of a boss
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But while you're in the levels, and then like like with the enemies that we needed to get Cutman to kill the little shell. Was it the Cutman we needed to get kill the spiky?
Oh, the little
tails?
hoovers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they had like the little Cutman little scissors
Yeah.
logo above their heads, or maybe just like the colours on
I
them,
can't remember what colour Cutman is, but yeah.
then you'd know you needed that colour to hurt it.
Yeah.
And it would stop you from trying to kill it with other
With
weapons.
the buster, yeah.
Like I think that would just be a massive improvement.
Mm.
To get rid of the sliding, have colour coding on the enemy so you know what would hurt what. And also taking out the attack enemies that hurt you before going to the boss.
Oh yeah, that was why. That's the only
Because
Mega Man game that does
I
that.
didn't know it would do that because I've kind of got a knowledge of the later Mega Man games. When I saw the Wily's door,
Yeah, it's the boss.
I was like, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
But they've all got enemies that attack you, which means that you get to the marker which says you've completed this level.
Yeah.
Psychologically, you're like, okay, I'm up for the boss now. But because there's enemies in that tunnel which are quite hard to avoid, and there's like a lot of them. There's not even just like 1 or 2. There's like 6 or 8 of them. There's a lot of them. You can then like die when you've already thought you've completed the level.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's a really weird design choice. I don't know why they went for that. But I think if we did those 3 things, that would be quite a good way of improving this game.
I think the problem is this game is just that obviously it was the first one they'd obviously made, but they didn't really. It feels like every game afterwards, or most of the other games, is like.
Oh yeah, I mean they
everything's
basically
better.
fixed this by just playing the newer games.
Yeah.
But that's what I would have done to try and.
I
make
would have
this
just
game.
taken out some of the enemies. Like there's just too many enemies in some areas. Like
The
too
thing
much
is, there's
spawns.
too many enemies, but I don't know how many of those are just because of like the respawning.
Oh,
and,
I mean, like when you get like the guns, you get like 4 or 5 guns on the wall, and you're like, why is there 4 or 5 guns on the wall? It's like unnecessary.
That's true, because some of the guns also don't even fire when you're near you. Like
Yes.
some of them are just like guarding holes you don't need to go down because it's take you back to the level before.
Yeah. It's like, oh damn it.
Just a hell of a lot of stuff. I think you mentioned it, like most of it, but like, yeah, just the frustration of like the controls, the enemy placement, the kind of respawning, like, and how that fits in with where you are and how you have to go back and then respawn and stuff.
I think
just like-
having a marker for the respawn would be good.
And just
So
like
when you get to that stage, have it like a different colour,
Yeah.
or have it so it stands out so you know like, oh, I've made it to the reach.
Maybe the level should change.
If I
colour or something.
die now,
It'll
it's
come back.
fine. If I'm going to respawn here,
Yeah.
like having that marker is quite a good idea as well.
you say the difficulty, obviously.
Yeah.
But all of these things,
Add up to that being difficult. Yeah.
all of these things feed into the difficulty, and like what they've been saying about like how you should have some indication about like what weapons to use. because it's great that there's different like things you can use, but you have no idea. Like when you get to a boss, you don't get time to experiment with different ones because you get absolutely annihilated by a boss in like under 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You don't get any time to kind of experiment with what's good against what.
Even just
And then,
trying
like,
to
you-
avoid them. Like,
and then
trying to learn
you'll
their patterns.
lose like 3 lives easily and then have
Yeah.
to start again.
Yeah.
It's just tough.
Well, that's the thing. It's not even just knowing what weapons you can to bosses. Just trying to survive through like a movement to know where they're going to move to.
Yeah.
Like just trying to avoid their attacks for a volley is hard enough with like your lives. I guess
Yeah.
it's designed for you to just play for like hours and hours because it's the 80s and what else you going to do.
Yeah.
You've got no other games to play.
Yeah.
You get like 1 game a year or something.
You spent all your Pokemon in just one game, you're in the base for like 3 or 4 months before you get another game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's change gears. We'll come back to if it holds up and stuff later on when we talk about Mega Man 2. So let's change gears to Mega Man 2.
Ooh, crazy.
Gears.
Get out of order.
I know, but we'll start with likes. We'll chuck it over to Mr. Mark. So now we'll move on to Mega Man 2. What do you like about this game?
It's difficult to talk about this without comparing it to the first game.
It's fine. Carry on.
Because there's so many improvements.
Yeah, carry on.
You get more health drops in this game, and
A lot.
you take less damage.
Oh, before you carry on, this game has a difficulty mode. There's normal and difficult. We played on normal, so this I'm assuming is what they wanted the game to be toned down. I'm sure difficult. You take double damage or
It's
something,
difficult one more
yeah.
like Mega Man 1, I guess.
yeah, but
It kind of makes sense when this game came out. They
Yeah.
didn't want people who liked the first one, they didn't want to think it was dumbing down.
yeah,
But the way of actually encouraging new players, it seems like the best way to do it.
yeah. But carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, they you get more health drops and you take less damage, and it's like they learnt their lesson from the first game. They
Yeah.
wanted to make a more accessible game. So you don't die as much, so it's less frustrating, and you just get. I just think the levels were better designed in this
Absolutely.
game. There is some bullshit with the platforming in this game. There was a bit where Dave was doing that bit with the invisible platforms.
Oh, the
coming up.
blocks that
And then
spawn.
suddenly-
the
and then
actual
suddenly one just, like-
fireman or
Fireman. Or I don't always call
There
it
was a
this one.
bit where you're just jumping across a load, and then suddenly there's just one in front of you,
Yeah, and it spawns above you as well, doesn't it?
and you're just like, oh, okay, like
Yeah,
I've jumped
the thing
into
is,
it
like,
rather than
when
onto it.
you've got a platform beneath you, it's fine to like hop around, and like if it takes you by surprise to be above you, like, well, I'm safe.
No, this was Heatman in this game.
But that one, I thought it was
So it must be Fireman in the first game.
with the platform. When it's doing weird block stuff above you, it's fine. When there's a platform underneath you,
Sure, yeah.
like it's annoying, but you can learn the timings,
Yeah.
and you can carry on. But the bit when I was over the lava, it's like, I'm going to die if I get this wrong.
Yeah,
The entire time, it was always to the right of you.
yeah.
And there was that
One.
one time when it spawned above you.
Yeah,
And because the one behind you despawns, you can't even jump back and then jump back over. So, like,
doesn't give you any option.
It's
like-
very
You're-
cheap.
you're just fucked.
It's just-
Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do. You're
It's-
just
it's-
fucked if you don't know it's going to do that.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, there's less bullshit in this game. I think
More tolerable.
the environments are more varied.
Mm.
The music is more memorable.
Oh my god.
Like
the
some of
art's a lot better
the
as
music
well.
in this
It's
game
much
is
more
really
detailed.
memorable. There are like at least a few, like probably a handful or so of songs, like pieces of music that I remember. Mainly, probably they're in Smash as well.
As well, yeah.
But like, yeah, there's some really good music.
This is
in
where
this
most
game.
of the famous
I
stuff
feel
comes
like
from.
this is more the stuff I've heard in Smash comes from this game than the first
Yeah, I
one.
mean, Smash Ultimate now has music from the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, and sixth one. I think it goes up to. But yeah, there's a lot of the tracks you would have heard.
More of the famous ones are from this game.
Yeah, pretty much. Wily's Castle, Flashman. They're probably the two famous ones. Most famous ones, anyway.
Yeah, the textures and the environments and things are like really varied. Like each level looks.
I love Flashman
incredibly
stage, the icy sort of one where it's like you don't see any of those blocks ever again. Like the
Yeah.
just the way it's like all crystallized or something's going on with it.
Flashman is interesting.
The only
Yeah.
one is
It's a very interesting stage.
the only one is like where you start with the waterfall.
Oh god,
Like,
Bubble
that
Man.
one is a bit like
Oh, that hurts your
Um,
eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah, the boss fights are better. Like,
Well, Metal Blade kind of wrecks most of them.
yeah, as in like you can do them without getting destroyed.
Yeah, you got time to
ridiculously.
like take damage and sort of figure out the pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also with the boss fights, if Metal Blade bounces off, it's only really like a 1 in 3, 4 chance after that.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be Bubble, Tornado, or
Yeah.
the other
Or
one.
Buster works and everything. So
Yeah, so like you kind of know. If anything, it means if Metal Blade doesn't work, if you switch to one of the other ones, you got like a 1 in 3 chance of it just killing it in 2 hits.
yeah, yeah.
So it's pretty sweet.
This game is still pretty tough, but it's like the difficulty is down like enough.
Much
to
more
be able to
manageable,
enjoy
wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It means you can play it casually and not spend 10 hours trying to beat one level.
Yeah.
It just seems easier to defeat the enemies. Like the enemies don't seem to absolutely screw you
They
over.
don't tank.
as
They don't
much.
tank as many shots either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're also not like massively punished because you constantly get energy and health.
Yeah.
There
So
are
you're not massively punished for getting hit by one thing, and then you get like surrounded by like many enemies.
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
are a couple of stages where I'm just like, oh, this is
Quick
tough.
man.
Yeah, but like most of them, it's just more satisfying to play.
Yeah.
Just like you don't feel like you're dying all the time. and
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, it's a much more fun game than the first one.
Hmm.
Although there are frustrating things. We'll get into that. But I think it's definitely better than
Yeah,
the first game.
Without a doubt. Mr. Fruity, anything else you want to add to this? Anything else you liked about the second one?
Yeah, like all the weapons are quite fun and unique.
Yes.
Like I quite like those. I like how they've all got like separate energy bars.
I like also
So
the
you
way
can
that they
kinda manage
move
it.
differently. They've all got weird movement options as well. None of them act the same way.
Yeah, like be able to move things, maybe be able to attack in like 8 directions, or with the tornado ones, be able to attack kind of randomly
Yeah,
to the side, above you, kind
Yeah.
of angle. Yeah, be able to freeze time. It's pretty interesting.
Time Stopper was fun,
mechanic.
yeah.
That's pretty cool. Like, yeah, I quite like all the weapons. The color palette design is also like massively improved, as well as the music. Makes it feel much more kind of cartoony, a bit more like lively than the later
Yeah.
ones.
Sounds like they definitely got a handle on a lot of the chip inside the NES.
Yeah, which is bound to happen with the console generation. Once
Yeah.
you get further along, you know how to get the most out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even the enemies are a bit more easy to deal with as well. The movement patterns of the enemies are slightly better.
Not as erratic, are they?
Yeah, I feel like they either have less patterns, or like they're more easier to like guess. I don't know if it's like
Yeah.
if they're still just as random, but it's in so many directions, or if it's just like they only have 3 or 4 different move sets.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all the branching paths, they do quite good at having branching ways of going through the level.
Mm.
Like a lot of times you fall down, you can choose between like 1 or 2 or 3
Yeah, left or
different
right.
holes to fall down. And if you know the one to go down, you can get extra health, extra lives, or
Yeah.
energy. That's pretty cool. There's not so many of them that lead to dead ends as in the first one.
Yeah.
But kind of more of them just led to like, oh, this is the wrong way. Go back down and go back up and get all hit by every enemy that
On the way
appears. Yeah, so I kind of like that. So yeah, it's all kind of better. All the movement stuff. I don't know if that was in the first one or not, but
Oh, the extra items.
yeah,
No, they're not in the first one.
That's kind of cool.
What do you like about the game?
Alright, so obviously the music is fantastic. Flashman, Metal Man, Woodman, Dr. Wily's Castle 1, like they're all fucking incredible. Like most of the... It's just... There's just something about like 8-bit music done well. It's just like, it's like a little earworm, and you get that in your head and you're just humming it like constantly. Like Flashman to me is probably my favourite piece of music from the game. Probably followed by Dr. Wily's Castle 1.
Hard to say. I think Wily's Castle.
Well, Wily's Castle is like incredible, but like Flashman, like a da 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 da. It's like got quite a like a. I don't know what it is about it. I just kind of like the
That is
feeling
true.
that comes across from it.
I think the thing with Wily's Castle is definitely like the more well known.
Yeah, it's there's so many good versions of Wily's Castle. Like
Hmm.
it's there's not many other versions of in the other games when you do Wily's Castle. I would say a lot of the other music to me isn't as memorable. Maybe 3. I think 3's got a good one, but yeah, like 2 is known for that piece of music is just it's exceptional. Like the sound quality on that is incredible. So Yeah, music, obviously. Boss designs I quite like in this game. I like the variety of different bosses, like the way that they all look different from one another. They're much better looking as well in this game compared to the first one. Obviously, level design is far superior to the first game. It doesn't feel like someone just built a level and left it. They feel like they've been tested on. You know, each level is very different. Most of the time, they've got new mechanics depending on where you go. And I kind of like that. Like each level, you pick like the airman, you're in the air. You pick the water bubble man, you're doing the underwater mechanics that doesn't appear in any other level. Well, in the first Robot Masters, and so on and so forth. Quickman's got the lasers that you have to avoid. Like all that sort of stuff. It's really fun that they've kind of gone right. This is the this kind of level we want to make. This is the theme we want to do. Let's run with that. And like Metal Man is like all conveyor belts and stuff. So
yeah, like Woodman is very like
foresty, yeah.
Bats and stuff. Yeah, it's true. They
It's
do
all
affect the bosses.
yeah, and it's all kind of nice that it feels different. Each level feels individual. I was saying about the backgrounds. The backgrounds are better. There's more sort of filled in. It looks. I mean, it's weird seeing 2 to 3 because in 3 they add even more detail in, and 3 to me looks better. But like from 1 to 2,
Oh
like,
yeah, you got to remember back in the day, it's like we can add this extra sprite in, or we could add in like an entire level.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like we could like
No, of course.
this is back in the day. It was like we could do a dialogue screen, or we could just add another level into
Yeah.
the game.
No,
You've
it's
only got so much space.
it looks good. It's a good looking game. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for me. Like I just think it's all these improvements over the first game. It's just a more it's just a better, more fun experience to play this game. So, yeah. So let's look at some dislikes.
I feel like I
Yeah.
have some of the same dislikes for this game as the first one, but there's just fewer. Doesn't happen as often.
Sure.
So there is still like the odd bit of bullshit enemy
Yeah,
placement,
yeah. Oh yeah.
but it's just not as extreme as the first game.
Yeah.
So there's the odd bit where you're just like, oh, that's just annoying, like, and oh, I wouldn't have done that without trial and error. Some trial and error is good, but like does go over the line a little bit.
Yeah.
First game goes over the line way too often.
Yeah, yeah.
This game goes over the line here and there. Some wonky hitboxes sometimes. Like,
I mean, let's talk about those
I
spikes.
mean, yeah. This game was obviously made in the 80s. You can't blame it too much. But that water level with the spikes is just like
Yeah, the shape of the spikes they're
Yeah,
actually like a
like-
square rather than like a circle.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would have done that without the rewind, like the Quickman one.
That's kind of the problem.
Quick
with
Man's
that,
the
is-
odd one
is
out, isn't it?
Where
That one is just so much more difficult than any of the others, or it seemed like it.
Well, that and Heatman, I think, are the two
Yeah,
hardest
yeah,
stages.
yeah.
But
that's the thing. We're doing all this with the luxury of being able to rewind.
now,
time.
I want to say that when you see the footage for this, I died a lot, but I didn't use rewind and told because I was like, I want to just play it as if it's Mega
we
Man.
did because
It made more.
if you're going to add that to a game, people are going to use it.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Like,
I
you
wanted
have
to.
to, and it made us probably more into
You
it. To be honest.
persevered. Let's be honest, you did
Like,
persevere.
I think if we didn't have that rewind mechanic, we wouldn't have got anywhere near as far as we did.
And maybe
it just
you're
shows-
shooting yourself down a little bit.
It shows good game design.
Yeah.
Maybe in the second one.
Yeah, yeah.
The
The first one, absolutely
definitely
not.
not. I would not have got to all those bosses
Yeah.
without being able to rewind time.
If you pick Quickman first, I mean, you must be able to do Quickman without the time stopper. Because if you go there first, like, I'm pretty sure I've seen speedrunners do it, but like, I don't. It's got to be pixel perfect movement.
You must be. I mean, there's a couple of times you got close. Like, you must be able to do it, but
Without time stopper, it's a lot
well,
harder.
the problem is where you land on each screen affects you.
Yeah.
So it is probably possible, but you have to set it from the beginning.
Yeah.
The first time you jump down,
You got to know.
you have to know all the sliding you have to do to get through that.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then
There's
even
no
then,
way.
I was like finding that difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like as it goes on, the worse it becomes. So if you go slightly over on each screen, then you're
Yeah.
gonna be like you can't complete it at the bottom.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably probably possible, but
I don't really have a huge
pretty
number
hard.
of dislikes. Like, I don't find it as replayable as like obviously like a lot like Mario and Sonic and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I do enjoy it, but it's not quite. I just guess I just don't have any nostalgia for it. As
Sure.
well. But yeah, there's not a huge amount of dislikes. This game is a lot better than the first one. It's a massive improvement.
Yeah.
It's much more playable. Like, the only reason I like now that we've done this video, I have no reason to play the first one again.
Yeah.
Whereas I would have another crack at this game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just Fruity, anything you dislike about this? Do you want to add to it?
I think we covered most of it.
I mean, I've got some things I can add.
I kind of feel like I wish there was more detail in the movement power-ups.
Yeah.
It just says item 1, 2.
They
and 3,
changed that in with Rush in
and
3.
it's like, well, what is this?
Yeah.
Because you kind of know when you get like the bubble gun, you kind of know it's going to be like the enemy's like weapon.
Yeah.
You know the tornado one's going to be kind of like tornadoes. You know, like the gear will be kind of, or the metal
Blade,
blades
yeah.
will be like the metal blade the enemy uses. But there's no real indication of how to use those
Items.
properly,
Yeah,
which
the
is kind of weird.
it's trial and error with those as well, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like maybe more indication of those would be pretty useful. Like, it's much easier, it's much more fun. Like, you don't feel like you're being punished for making the slightest error,
Yeah.
which is a big improvement. A lot of the bosses are much easier to do as well. There isn't really much to dislike, really. Except for, like, it's not quite moved on enough from the previous game.
Yeah. Let's start with the fact that, you know, Quickman and Heatman are probably the two hardest stages in this game. Mainly because Heatman has the bullshit blocks, and like you said, there are times that if you don't know that pattern, you're just going to die. And with Quickman, if you don't know what's going to happen with those lasers, there aren't that many one-hit KO things in Mega Man. Like, if it's lava, it makes sense. You like lava, don't go in lava, whatever. Spikes, you like spikes, whatever.
But then, like, the level checkpoints above it,
Yeah.
and, like,
No, but I mean, like,
you can kind of...
you don't. It's the only point in Quickman stage where you have to like constantly move. If you like, imagine it's like an auto scroller. Like, it almost becomes an auto scroller, doesn't it? Where you have to keep moving because you're gonna get hit by the laser, and it's weird to. It's cool. Like, I like the that it's there.
It ties with the robot. And it ties.
Yeah,
in
it's
with,
theming. It
like,
makes sense. It's just it is a hard level. It don't. All the other levels, like Flashman's fairly
I
straightforward.
feel like if it didn't start you at the checkpoint above it, then it would be like a level of annoyance. It should be really bad
Yeah.
because the kind of checkpoints there, it's not
It's not. I wouldn't say
as
it's
awful.
bad,
Especially
but
if
it's
you've
still.
already got, if you know the order.
Yeah.
It's so many of these games. It's like if you know the order,
It's
you're
easy.
meant to do them in. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not so bad.
The last thing I was going to bring up, it was kind of do with the bosses. Now, like, if you try and do most of these bosses anyway with a Buster, it's not too bad. But it is kind of, I don't know whether this was on purpose, but Metal Blade for the most part will wreck most things. And if not, and you find the weakness for the boss, you are two-shotting stuff. And I don't have a problem with the bosses having a weakness, but it is weird that you can literally, like,
It
kill
is
them.
odd when we had like the bubble
And it's just like, bang, and he's just like
Yeah,
lost like that
Heatman
much health, you know, like 3/4 of his
dies
health.
into-
Yeah.
Like, Cutman was the wind one, wasn't it?
Oh, no, it was the Leaf Shield. Was
Oh,
it Metal
Leaf
Man?
Shield.
Yeah, it was Leaf Shield, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah. So I thought the tornado one was crazy. It was like, oh god,
Yeah.
how do I stop this? Change the tornado. It's like you get hit with all 3 tornadoes.
Oh,
it just
Crash
loses,
Man,
like,
sorry.
a
Crash Man
quarter.
was the one you used it on, yeah.
Yeah, he's like a quarter of his health. It's
It's
just
like,
oh,
douche. Yeah.
that was easy.
Yeah.
It's like,
It
it
is.
doesn't really, you don't feel that sense of achievement, that's true.
It's not so much a dislike, it's just, I think there's a difference between making something effective and then there's something that's just like, because when you, in these games when you do the refights, when you fight Metal Man again, you hit him with like a metal blade and it insta-kills him. It's like, obviously you can't do it the first time because you don't have it. But it's just weird how they specifically made Metal Blade more powerful and it uses no energy. You can fire like 5 blades before it reduces it, and the amount of energy and health you get in this game. I mean, I kind of get it because Metal Blade you can fire in 8 directions, which is so useful in a game like this, where being able to fire up on ladders and diagonally when stuff's coming at you is so much better than the Buster. But it's just a weird choice where they were like, yeah, we're gonna make this one weapon like real powerful, and then we're gonna make the boss's weakness like ridiculous. But I wouldn't. It's not a like or a dislike. It's just a weird kind of design that they've put in. And maybe on difficult mode it's not as bad. But I've never played the game on difficult mode, so I don't know. But yeah,
That is an interesting point. Yeah.
it's just interesting to me that.
Yeah, because from like a design point of view, like you're setting up like the multipliers of damage. So if you get hit by this times by 1, you get hit by this times by 2 or 3. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of get it from a design point of view. That's like the easy way of doing it. But it does mean it like if you're not struggling through the fight trying different weapons,
Yeah.
if you just go in with it with their weakness, you don't really experience the boss fight. You win within like 5 seconds. You're like, oh, it's over.
It's the difference between the first one and the second one, isn't it? Where it's
kind of odd. Like it's almost too one way than the other way.
Yeah,
like,
I think in
like
3 it's less of a problem.
too easy.
I think in 3 you still have to hit them quite a few times with their weakness, but it's like not like over instantly. You still have to try.
Wasn't 3 more like if you don't hit with their weakness, it barely does anything?
Yeah, if you use a Buster on most of the bosses in that game, it's really hard. It takes a while. As long as you get the patterns down, it's not so bad. But like it takes ages to like just.
Yeah, like if you hit with their weakness, it still takes like 16 odd hits to like actually kill them.
So it is a bit different, but no, it's not too much of a problem because it is nice to be able to play this game at a bit more of a leisurely pace than the first one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just strange to me that they are that effective. But that's what it is. All right, so let's wrap this up neatly then. Let's talk about both of these games together then. We'll chuck it to you, Mr. Mark, first. Start with you. Do you think either of these games hold up, and would you recommend either of these games to people?
Mega Man 1, absolutely not. Like, if someone said to me, I fancy trying out a Mega Man game, I'd say, don't start with this one.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
I'm the type of person who likes to not skip in a series.
Yeah.
But like Mega Man 1 does not hold up at all. I wouldn't recommend playing it. I wouldn't, unless you're a masochist of some form.
Davis.
2 is a lot
I like
better.
my Dark Souls.
2 is a lot better.
Yeah.
It's worth playing. It's fun to play.
Yeah.
Does it hold up against other games that succeeded it? Probably not.
Sure.
Like, that doesn't mean it's not worth going back to. It's I still think it plays fairly well. But if you're going to compare this to, say, a game that is similar but far more modern, like Shovel Knight, because they have similar physics and similar the way the screen.
I mean, Shovel Knight is heavily based on Mega Man.
Yeah,
such a fucking bay.
Shovel Knight is a much superior
refined.
game. Like it's far more refined.
So, as much as I was ragging on both these games, there is an itch in me that wants to get really good at Mega Man 1.
You're not going to do it. He's not going to do it.
It's like,
has it got that Dark Souls?
I have a desire to try and beat that. Like, there's a part of me that wants to
He's
go
not
back.
sleeping tonight, guys.
Yeah, there's a part of me wants to go back and, like, There's something about the satisfaction of nailing.
Hang on. If you go back and do it, I will pay you 50 quid. If you actually go back and complete that game.
He's not going to go back and play this.
Like, with like the flippers, like that bit where I started to nail that pattern.
Fuck. You can't use rewind though.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't use it though.
Alright.
Do it. But like, the couple of times I nailed that without using the rewind stuff, it scratches that itch where it's like, yeah, I want to get good at this. Like, I like my trial and error games. Like, I like the Dark Souls. I like the, like, I guess like even like FTL, like roguelike
sort of
like
Darkest Dungeon.
Darkest Dungeon. Like I do like a well-made game, and this isn't like well-made, but like I mean, to be fair, the guys that made, it's well-made for the time. Like this is a modern audience going back to a game which is like
over 30 years old. Yeah,
it's a long time ago. This is like dinosaurs. This is like slightly more than like Pong. But yeah, so I think I could go back and play 1. I think I need to set aside like a weekend to try and do it.
Yeah.
But I kind of like the idea of completing that.
I'm surprised that you actually want to do that.
I'm not. This is exactly the kind of game.
It's the kind of game
Is
I
it because
need.
you're tipsy and when you sober up you'll be like, fuck off.
No,
I'm.
You like Shinobi, remember?
Oh yeah.
I enjoy games that just constantly slap you in the face. I don't know what it says about me as a person.
Mega Man just gets his dick out and
That's
slaps
why he
you.
likes Dark Souls.
Pretty
so
much, yeah. Like Dark Souls. Like I like really hard precision games
You like Meat Boy?
and really slow RPGs. They're my 2 games. I mean, I haven't really played Meat Boy.
But I could see you getting into that.
Meat Boy's
yeah,
really good.
I would get into that.
Oh,
Like,
I hate
That's
that
a
game.
good game. I'm surprisingly good
I
at that
like
game. Like,
those kind of games. So I mean, the second one's something I definitely would do.
Yeah.
Like, I think playing the second one with no rewinds and
Yeah.
trying to play through it is something I would really be interested in. But I can
Yeah.
still see myself go back and play one. But that's just me.
Yeah.
I'm a bit fucked up in the head.
So would you recommend either of these games to anybody else? Is really the question.
If you like the same games as me, and you really like to do something over and over and over again to get that endorphin of achievement when you finally do it,
Yeah.
yes, you know if you get really good, you can predict it.
Yeah. It's like Ghouls and Ghosts, Ghosts and Goblins, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So I played that
Oh,
on like
God.
the Sega emulator thing
Yeah.
on the PlayStation, and I was just like, I kind of like this.
Mm.
Even though it is absolutely there's no way you can complete that on your first playthrough. Like, to me, like, if I design something,
Yeah.
it should be completable by someone on their first try. Maybe through luck,
Yeah.
but there should be the potential for someone to pick it up and complete it, which
Yeah.
you can't really do with these games. So it's kind of poor design, but it's also the kind of design which gives me that itch. And it's like, I want to try and do that.
Oh dear. Yeah, that's fair
But
enough.
anyway, how about you? Go back. You're much more well adjusted than
Right.
I am.
Yeah, well, I know. Mega Man 1 is going to be going into that pile of games that I'm never going to play again. So Streets of Rage, Shinobi, Golden Axe, those kind of games that are just...
All the games I love.
No. Well, no, like, the games that are just... Fucking Power Rangers as well. Yeah, just trash
All
games.
the games I recommended.
No, I liked Game Ground.
Oh, that's true.
I like
you did
Game Ground.
Game Ground.
that
But-
game's shit.
I know you don't like it. I like it.
Whoa.
I like Game Ground.
Why does no one like my game?
No, it's not that, but like for me, we haven't done Golden Axe yet. But when we get to Golden Axe, but like it's you know this is just under Super Mario 64, and that game is trash as well.
Fucking Nintendo fanboys.
How many times have you said that in our podcast?
I know, I hate that game. But for Mega Man 1 is
We've been
just
talking about like something that doesn't even relate to Super Mario 64.
no,
and
it's
you're
just
just like,
trash.
it's shit.
Bash on it. But Mega Man 1 is not a good game. It doesn't play well. The level design is poor. The element placement is shit. Like this is a game I'm never playing again. Like I'm done with this game.
The design is shit, but it's kind of.
No, this game is shit. I'd
It's
wipe my
in the-
ass with this
It's
cartridge
in
if I
the
had one.
80s, like. It's what games were in the 80s.
No, right. Let's compare it to another game that came out.
Super Mario Brothers 1 is far better.
No. I'll give you a better example of game. We played Castlevania. Castlevania is a similarly tough game.
Came out the same year, didn't it?
Castlevania feels like alright, the later levels get tough, but it feels like a better game. It feels more. I know it's slower, but like
It seems like they tested it.
yeah, like Mega Man 1 is just not a good game, and I would never recommend this to anybody. It's just
Well, you know what I'm going to say.
oh dear, what are you gonna say?
Gotta get good, son.
Oh
I
god.
thought he was going to say it was better than the second one.
It's
Gotta get good.
it is trash. It is utter trash, and like yeah, like you
Dirty
said,
casual.
like you said, it did start off a big thing for Mega Man, and Mega Man's now renowned for this type of playstyle.
It's
but
true. Like it laid down. It didn't nail the formula, but it definitely laid down
Started it
the
off,
formula,
yeah.
which every of like what the 20 odd Mega Man
there's
games,
all
the
yeah,
Net Warriors,
yeah,
and, like
and fucking X
X's
and
and-
yeah, Legends and all that.
the Net ones, one with the cards.
Yeah, the one where you're inside
and
this.
stuff. Yeah,
They're all a bit different, but
like this wouldn't have happened if this game wasn't popular.
No.
So it definitely popularized the formula.
I can
put it that way.
appreciate the game for existing and setting off this trend, but you can clearly see how much better they've got. They fucked up a few times with some of the later Mega Man, but 2 is just like 2 is. If someone said where do I start with Mega Man, play 2. 2 is a lot easier than most of the
2
others.
was a much softer entrance.
Yeah,
That is true.
and I think that's where you need to start with this series, or 9 and 10. 9 and
He's
10 are
gonna
pretty good as
hate.
well. But
I
honestly,
still play 1.
oh
I
dear,
think it says more about me than it does you guys.
I know. Like you just like trash video games. That's the problem.
Whoa, trash anime maybe, but not trash video games.
But you know, like this is you know, there is a thing about difficulty that I like. I like when games are difficult, but I don't like games that feel unfair, like unnecessarily. Like if a game's
Oh, same here normally. Like with your Dark Souls and like
well, Dark Souls is debatable, but yeah,
FTL and
Yeah.
like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But like, I feel like I'm more gentle to this game because it's older. Like if this game came out now,
oh yeah,
as
Get
like
shit on.
I made a video game and put it on Steam because I saved up my pocket money to pay for the fee. Like
Yeah,
all those shovelware you see on Steam.
yeah.
If it was one of those, I would not be anywhere near as like generous.
Mm.
But because of the limitations at the time, kind of see what they were trying to do. It's just enough to make me want to play.
I
Just enough.
I've never touched one again, but I would absolutely recommend two to people because I think it's if you want, or I would say this: if you want to play one, play two first.
I mean, I'm not saying not to play 2. 2 is superior
Yeah,
in pretty much every way. Like, I am not defending. I'm not being like, yes, start at 1 because 2 is shit.
yeah.
Nah, like
Start-
definitely start with 2.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
But,
any
this,
other.
but even then, like I'm like,
I'm just saying I would play
Yeah.
1 again.
it's funny because I'm saying play 2 then play 1. No, forget that. Play 2 then play 3. 3 is a much better game than 1. It's difficult. It's harder than 2. It's better looking. It's got just as good a music.
I
It's
think from my knowledge, I'd probably say play the X series.
X series if you want probably a better control scheme. You've got more control over
I
it,
feel
but
like what I've seen of the Mega Man X games.
Never played any of them.
they're pretty good. They are pretty good. I really like the DS ones as well. Like, they're pretty good. But yeah, no, I think overall my thoughts are this: is that 1 is just a game that I'm never going to touch again. I'm never going to recommend it to people just because I just think it just to me it feels very poorly made. 2, 3, later on ones. Start with 2, have a good time, enjoy the music, enjoy the visuals. The game feels a lot tighter. But yeah, that's how I feel about these games. I think 2, good. I definitely prefer it to you, I think, Mark. But I know you're not like kind of have any of the nostalgia and stuff. But I played 3 when I was younger, so I suppose that I have that connection to the series.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would say like I'm a big platform guy. That's like my main series. So this definitely for me gets like a thumbs up for 2. But 1, yeah, don't waste your time. You're better off painting a wall than you are playing the first game, to be honest. You'll have more fun. But I think that's going to do it for us today, guys. Thank you very much for listening, as always.
Yeah.
If you like, hit the like button. If you want to put a comment in the boxes below, do that as well. And obviously hit subscribe if you want to keep up to date with all this good stuff, as we've been uploading a lot more content.
I am very interested if anyone who's a massive defender of Mega Man 1.
Yeah.
Like, I want to hear from someone who's like, Anthony, this game is amazing, and
They don't exist.
You're just terrible gamers because you can't play this game. Like,
They don't exist, my friend.
there must be someone who wants to play 1.
No.
Other than me.
No. It's just you.
Aw.
But yeah, that's going to do it for us today. So it's going to be goodbye from me, and it's going to be goodbye from these two.
Goodbye.